Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey. Today, we are going to actually talk about redemption. And what do I mean by redemption? All these wines here, the producers, we had not so great experiences with the wines the first time, or maybe average to not so great. And we went back and tried different versions in their portfolio. And you know what? They really surprised us, really surprised us, and we're going to be tasting one of them today. So let me tell you, I guess, some stories. I'm going to show you this wine right here. This is a producer called Malagon. This is the Reserva de Familia. This is his top wine. This is Grenache, Petite, Sirah, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot from 2012, 19 months in oak. This is another one of his top wines called the Equua. This is 70% Grenache, 30% Petite Sirah, 19 months in French oak as well. So, interesting story. This guy, when we went to taste his room, he was actually tasting with some distributors, and he was drunk when he came in. And at first, Shireen wasn't. I really liked him. Shireen was a little maybe put off a little bit. He's a real loud guy. He was all over the place, and I said, we really have to try his wines. I was at first, some of his entry-level wines were a bit meh, but his top wines were stunning, were sensational. I mean, so good, I'm going to buy about a case of them to send back to my cellar in Michigan. He has another top wine called El Grenache, and his Grenache vines are made from 60, 70-year-old vines. I really like the wine because it's completely different. He's not trying to create a Bordeaux blend of Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon. He's using Grenache, a variety which I think really does well in the valley. And his wines have character. They're smooth. They're rich. They have depth. They're balanced, and they're dirty. I mean, Shireen absolutely loved the Malagon family Reserva. You want to say anything about that, Shireen? Anything that you really liked about this?
It had amazing nose, really. Slightly floral, leathery nose, but it's the perfect balance of savory, leather, fruit, earthiness. It's perfect. It was really perfect.
It was one of those wines that was so balanced. You're right. Savory is what Shireen said. Savory, floral, fruity, leather, dirt.
Like French wine.
Yeah, it was really balanced. You know what? And his top wines, I go back and forth. You know, there's a lot of Mexican wines that are way overpriced. But then there's also some Mexican wines that deliver excellent quality that are very fair or even very inexpensive. I mean, this Malagon Family Reserve was like $30, $35. The Equal was like $20, $25. The Grenache was like $25, $30. For this quality, I mean, I have the Malagon Family Reserve at 4.7. I might even bump it up to 4.8 out of 5. It was that good. Awesome producer, hard to get wines. I'm going to buy some to take home. The next producer, I have a funny story. I'm going to show this bottle to you. This is Roganto. This is the Merlot 2013 Reserva Especial. This is 100% Merlot, aged, I believe, anywhere from 24 to 26 months in oak. Now, I have a funny story. Shireen and I met some friends, and we tried a Roganto Chardonnay, and it smelled like pine. It smelled like pine trees. It was faulty. It tasted okay once it was salty. It just wasn't very good. And I wasn't going to try any more of their wines, but we heard some people say, you have to try a Roganto. You have to try the Roganto. So I went there. They don't accept tasting at all right now. They're building a new winery in the Valle de Guadalupe. Their facilities are actually in Ensenada. And I explained what I'm doing. I explained that we're leaving in a few days, writing a book about Mexican wines. Really would like to taste some of those wines because one I tried was not very good. And the helper said, okay, give me a second. She went in the back, and then she said, okay, come with me. So I walked over to the winery facility a couple 100 meters away, and there's the owner, big guy, Mr. Antonio. I started talking to him in Spanish. He just looked at me with this death stare. He's like, English? I said, okay. I started speaking English. He said, which wine did you try? Where did you try it? He was very, very curt. And I don't think he appreciated it like one of his wines. But you know what? I tasted out of the tank. I got a chance to taste a Chardonnay, a Sauvignon Blanc, his Pinot Noir, 2016, just finished fermentation. Awesome. I tasted some 2014 Merlot, 2014 Cabernet Sauvignon, which gave me chills. It was so good when I tasted it out of the barrel. 2014 Nebbiolo, a Bordeaux blend. They were very good, and the wines were plush, extremely well made. He had all modern equipment, so if you're here, I mean, this is something, their wines, I think they're exceptional quality. I was actually taking one back with us, so Roganto, nice work. Sorry that sorry that you were so upset with me, but hey, it happens. The last wine we're going to actually taste today, this is from a gentleman here that's been trying to get us to visit. This is Montano Benson, Amor, Bonito. This is 2011 Zinfandel. Now, we tasted early on when we were here a Barbera Petite Sirah from Mr. Benson, and we basically, it wasn't for everybody. It was oaky, it was over extracted, rich, even a little raisiny. It was well made, but I just didn't like that style of wine. And we posted something on Facebook, and he's been trying to get after us, saying, "Hey, you should taste my Zinfandel. Come visit me." We didn't get a chance to come visit, but I said, "You know what? We're gonna buy a bottle and taste it." Since he's such a nice guy, he was so adamant. So we are gonna give this a go. I really think I've tasted some excellent Zinfandels here in Baja, California, but I'm just told that there's not a lot of Zinfandel out there, which it should be, because it should do really well here. Right away, dark color, a little bit of redness on the edges. Let me give us a smell here. I am a little bit worried about this. It's high alcohol, kind of pruny. There's a little bit of wood, a little bit of white pepper, but a lot of just overripe dark fruit. Sharon, you want to smell an alcohol as well?
Go ahead.
Let's give this a taste here. Sharon, you gotta taste this.
Really?
So this is a wine that's completely surprised me. I want you to taste it.
Wow, smells like typical overly extracted.
But taste it. Shireen's tasting it right now before I go over my little spiel.
Pretty crazy.
Her face is
But you still get the raisin taste at the end. But it's very nice and elegant in the front palate.
This is like Shawshank Redemption. This is a true redemption episode. The palate on this, I'm not even joking. This is not pre-scripted. We just bought this. I wanted to taste it. That's what the episode's all about. It's completely blowing me away. The palate smells raisiny, pruny, but when you taste it, there's actually red fruit, bright red fruit. Bright red fruit. Some tart cherry in the mid to end palate. A little bit of dirt. Brilliant structure. I mean, really good structure. I don't taste the raisins at the end. Long end palate. Might be a little bit hot. 13.8. I think it's a little bit higher than that. But super well made wine and delicious. I mean, if this wine had a nose that I liked a bit more, I'd be in the 4.4-ish range on this, because the nose isn't as great as I'd like. It's a 4.1 for me. I still think it's very good. Great job by Malagon, Montano Benson, and Roganto. True redemption. We are leaving Baja, California tomorrow morning. It's a Thursday right now. We're leaving Friday morning. We're quite sad. We're going to miss all the great food. And you know what? The first week, as it happens a lot when we go to these new wine regions, we struggle because we don't know what to drink. We're drinking maybe some subpar stuff. But I have to admit, I've heard so much talk about Mexican wine. This is up and coming. Is this the next Napa Valley? And I thought it was a lot of hype and BS because a lot of articles don't get super specific. But I have to tell you, there are some excellent wines to be had here in Baja, California. Shireen, you want to end on any thoughts, anything like that?
Yeah, it's been a good trip. We experienced wines that we want to drink again.
Yeah.
Which is, when you say you want to drink a wine again, it's a good indication that you really like the wines here. So
Yeah. I'm actually really sad that We're not going back to my cellar in Michigan because otherwise I bring a couple cases back and stuff in the cellar. Instead, we're going to Republic of Georgia, so I can't bring that much with me. And they're not distributed heavily outside Mexico as of right now because domestic demand is so strong within Mexico. So what can you do? Go out and try some Mexican wines. We'll be writing a guide to Mexican wines that'll be available in the next 6-7 months or maybe even a year. It depends on how quick we can get it out. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel, and I will see you at the next episode.